In this video, I'm going to be sharing 12 of my Holy Grail fragrances. Yes, these are 12 Holy Grail fragrances I rate really highly from my collection. So if you want to find out what these 12 fragrances are, please don't go anywhere. Yes, for this video guys, I'm going with 12 different styles of fragrances and I'm going to be telling you my favorite from each style. Without wasting time, right before we jump into the video, if this is your first time landing on my channel, you like fragrances, you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click that bell icon so you get notified whenever I drop a new video. Moving on right into the video guys, like I said, I have 12 different styles of fragrances here and I'm going to be sharing my favorite for each different style. So starting off on a light note, we're going to start with a citrus fragrance. And yes, my holy grail for citrus fragrances is from the house of Bvlgari, and that's Bugari Tiger. Yes, that's my holy grail for citrus fragrances. This one is basically grapefruit. There's some fresh spices in here too, and I believe there's other notes, but for me the main note here is the grapefruit, and there's ambroxan in here. Yeah, so this is a freshie that lasts long on me. This is a freshie that everyone likes on me, and this is a freshie I personally like on myself. I like the way this one works with my skin. This one is fresh, it's mass appealing. That grapefruit is very refreshing, it's very fresh, it's just amazing guys. It also has a woody aspect to this one, and I enjoy wearing this one in the summertime. Something about this fragrance just shines in the summertime, and I also find this fragrance to be quite sexy on me. I wore this fragrance out last weekend and I got lots of compliments. I actually had to tell a few of my friends what fragrance I was wearing and actually show them where to buy this fragrance. So here is a 30 ml bottle. I believe there's a bigger size if you want more juice. Yes guys, that's Bvlgari Tiger and it's my holy grail when it comes to citrusy or citrus fragrances. So the next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is a fruity fragrance, and it's my holy grail for fruity fragrances. It's none other than Xerjoff by Manera. Yes. A lot of people have asked me what I think about the intense version. For some reason, I prefer this one to the intense version. I've had this bottle for a long time, and for me here it's mostly about the woods and the fruitiness that this one has. This one is a very fruity, kind of sweet fragrance plus that woody aspect as well. I enjoy to wear this one in the summertime. It's one of my favorites for the summer, and it just has that balance of fruitiness and the woody aspect. I'm not really into fruity fragrances, but this one has the right balance. Other notes include some spices, there's leather listed in the notes, and I believe there's some woody notes listed as well. But yeah, for me, this one is my favorite when it comes to fruity fragrances, and that's why Manera Cedrabaz is my holy grail when it comes to fruity fragrances. Xerjoff has a huge following. A lot of people like this fragrance. It gets me a lot of compliments. It's just mass appealing. People love this one on me, and it works perfectly, especially in the heat. So summertime or even the springtime. Yes, that's Xerjoff by Manera, my holy grail fragrance for fruity fragrances. We move on to the next one. So the next fragrance is a sweet fragrance, and that's my holy grail for sweet fragrances, or if you like, that's my holy grail for gourmand fragrances. Yes, it's none other than Black Phantom by Killian. Yes, Killian's Black Phantom is my holy grail for sweet fragrances. It's my holy grail when it comes to gourmand fragrances as well. I rate this one really highly. What we have here is vanilla, we have coffee in here, we have some sugar in here, we have some spices in here. It's just well balanced to me. It's just the perfect sweet fragrance for me. It also has a little bit of a boozy vibe that I enjoy so much. Black Phantom for me is one I rate really highly. It just works well with my skin. I find this fragrance to also be quite sexy on me. A lot of people like it on me, and I also do enjoy wearing this one in the cold weather. It just works for me. I also enjoy the sweetness here because it's got that powdery vibe to it. Like I said, there's chocolate in here, there's sugar in here, there's rum listed here, and I believe there's other notes. Black Phantom for me is a staple, especially for date nights, especially in the cold weather. It just works for me guys. It's also a unisex fragrance, and this one lasts a long time, especially on my clothing. People love this one on me, and that's why it's my holy grail for sweet or gourmand fragrances, and that's Black Phantom by Killian. We move on to the next one. So the next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is a rose fragrance, or if you want to call it a rose based fragrance. Yes, and that's my holy grail when it comes to rose fragrances. It's none other than Portrait of a Lady by Frederic. Yes, Portrait of a Lady is very interesting to me, guys. Initially, guys, I never liked this fragrance. I found this one to be smelling quite weird, especially on people and even on me. This one didn't work for me for the longest time, but after a while, I started to enjoy or see the light in this one. At some point, I thought this fragrance was overhyped, so I never really thought too much about it, but now it's my holy grail when it comes to rose based fragrances. What we have here is rose, we have patchouli, we have some incense here. This is one of the best rose fragrances I personally have encountered. The note of rose can be tricky for me because I find it to be a hit or a miss in fragrances. I don't enjoy too many rose based fragrances, but this one is one of the best I personally have encountered. Yes, this one lasts a long time. It's unisex. A lot of people enjoy this fragrance. I think this is a 10 out of 10 fragrance. I think this is a 10 out of 10 rose fragrance. And Portrait of a Lady is unisex. It's great in the cold weather. This one lasts a really long time. I get 10, maybe 12, maybe even more than 12 hours of longevity with this one, with solid projection. It's woody, it's smoky, and it's a little bit spicy. Yes, guys, that's Portrait of a Lady by Frederic Malle, my holy grail for rose-based fragrances. We move on to the next one. The next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is an oud-based fragrance. Yes, it's an oud fragrance, and that is my holy grail fragrance when it comes to oud fragrances. It's from the house of Kemi, and it's Tempest. Yes, Tempest by Kemi is my holy grail when it comes to oud fragrances. Actually, this is my favorite oud fragrance. It's just the perfect oud fragrance for me. This one has the perfect balance for me when it comes to an oud based fragrance. Yes, it's woody, it's oudy, and then yeah, it also has that freshness to it, and it's quite easy to approach when it comes to oud fragrances. So oud fragrances can be too much sometimes. They can be overwhelming, they can be too dark, too maybe barnyardy for some people to handle, but this one here is the perfect balance in my opinion. So Tempest here has a woody side, it has an aromatic side, it also has a earthy side from patchouli, I believe, and then there's rose listed here as well. This has a freshness to it, and I believe that's from the orange and the petitgrain that's listed here. This one has patchouli, it has some ginger, the sandalwood listed here as well, and other notes, guys. This one gets me lots of compliments. A lot of people like this fragrance on me, and this one just works for me. That's why it's my holy grail when it comes to oud fragrances. So if you're looking for an oud fragrance that's not too on the woody side, that's quite easy to approach. I'm not saying this is an easy fragrance to pull off. Some people still might not be able to wear this one. This one lasts a really long time on me. It's great for the cold weather. Yes, this one is also unisex, so a guy can wear this one and a lady can wear this one. But I think this one leans more to the masculine side. So there you have it, guys. That's Tempest, my holy grail when it comes to oud fragrances. Next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is a boozy fragrance, and that's my holy grail when it comes to boozy fragrances. This is actually my favorite boozy fragrance, and it's none other than Baraonda by Nasomatto. Yes, Baraonda by Nasomatto is my holy grail for boozy fragrances. Yes, this one to me, guys, is all about whiskey, and then there's some musky notes in here, and this one is quite woody. Baraonda here for me is one of the most realistic boozy fragrances I personally have encountered, and I have a lot of boozy fragrances in my collection, but this one keeps standing out to me as one of the best. I personally like to wear this one when I'm going out partying, when I'm going out clubbing and all things like that. So this one gives up that woody, that whiskey, and that boozy vibe. That's basically what I get from here. Great to wear in the cold weather. And I also think this fragrance can be a shed fragrance because I found some ladies that enjoy wearing Baraonda. Interestingly, I have a friend that likes this fragrance. Each time she comes to visit, this is what she would always reach for from my collection to wear. Baraonda here works better in the cold, I find. I get 8 to 10 hours longevity with this one, and it projects decently for the first 2 hours. And guys, this one will get you noticed. This one gives off that sexy, woody, boozy vibe, especially in the air. I find this one to be really sexy. Yes, guys, that's my holy grail when it comes to boozy fragrances, and that's Baraonda by Nasomatto. We move on to the next one. So the next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is a spicy fragrance, even though yeah, it does have a little bit of an ambery touch to it, but I personally think it's more on the spicy side. It's from Tower Perfumes, and this one is Lur The Desert Marocain, LDDM, as some people call it. Yes, this one is all about spices, guys, to me, even though it's listed as an amber spicy fragrance. This is my holy grail when it comes to spicy fragrances, especially because it features my favorite spicy note, which is the note of cumin. I personally like and enjoy cumin in fragrances, even though a lot of people don't like the note of cumin in fragrances. I've heard a lot of comments from people saying that the note of cumin can sometimes give off an off-putting scent or an off-putting smell that they mostly do not enjoy. But there's a reason why I have more than 10 fragrances that have the note of cumin, and some of them are my favorite fragrances in my entire collection. That's also because I enjoy the note of cumin. And yes, this one has cumin, this one has coriander, there's some rose in here, and this fragrance was inspired by the spice market over at the Sahara Desert there in Morocco. Yes, a great spicy fragrance if you enjoy spicy fragrances. This one has some touches of rose, it's woody, it's aromatic, and it has a little bit of a sweetness to it. But for me, guys, it's all about the spices here. I also like the earthiness that comes with this one, and that's why it's my holy grail when it comes to spicy fragrances. This one is unisex if you enjoy spicy fragrances, and I personally like to wear this one in the cold weather, and it lasts a long time. Yes, here it says it's an EDT intense because this one is really intense. This doesn't perform like an EDT. This is more like an EDP kind of performance. That's what you get from this one. I get solid 10-12 hours with this one. It projects from my skin. People around me notice when I wear this one. Some of them like it and some of them don't like this one on me. But yes, guys, that's Lur The Desert Marocain by Tower Perfumes, my holy grail for spicy fragrances. We move on to the next one. So the next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is an amber fragrance, and yes, it is my holy grail for amber fragrances. It's from the house of Rania J, and that's Ambre Loup. Yes, Ambre Loup by Rania J is my holy grail for amber fragrances. This one is an amber that's loaded with spices. Yes, it's a spicy amber, but also has a balsamic side to it. It has a major balsamic side to this one. So if you don't like resinous fragrances, if you don't like balsamic fragrances, if you don't like balsamic amber fragrances, then maybe you should skip this one. So this is a spicy amber, but then the difference maker here for me is the oud that's added here. This one has a major woody aspect. There's cedar listed here, and I believe there's oud also listed here. And it also has a huge dose of spices in the mix. There's vanilla here, but it's not a sweet amber. This is more of a spicy, woody amber fragrance in my opinion. And yes, and when I was making this list, guys, I was struggling to decide which amber fragrance to go with, because I have two favorite amber fragrances. Just to let you know what the other fragrance is, I brought it here to show you. It's Tango by Masque Milano. Yes, guys, but this one for some reason is my holy grail. I've gone with this one because it just works better for me. This one gets me compliments. Amber Loup here is sexy. The spices work perfectly with the amber here, and it's just amazing, guys. A lady can wear this one, a guy can wear this one, and this one lasts a long time on me. It's a really great amber fragrance, one I rate really highly in my collection, one that's great for the cold weather. I personally like to wear this one in the fall. It just works perfectly in the fall, I find, and it's just a rich fragrance. That's why it's my holy grail when it comes to amber fragrances. So yes, guys, that's Ambre Loup by Rania J. We move on to the next one. So the next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is a tobacco-based fragrance, and it's none other than Amaj Royale Tobacco. Yes, Amaj Royale Tobacco is my holy grail for tobacco fragrances. So guys, this one is all about incense to me. This one is all about tobacco to me. This one is all about spices and resins. Yes, this is probably the best tobacco fragrance I personally have encountered in my entire journey. The quality and the depth of this fragrance is amazing. Royale Tobacco is one of my favorite all-time tobacco fragrances, and it just works for me. This one has a spicy kick to it, and there's also a smoky vibe present here. If you like resinous fragrances, if you like a smoky tobacco fragrance, this one has a little bit of sweetness. It's mostly a smoky, resinous tobacco in my opinion. This one lasts a really long time. Projection is amazing with this one. I personally prefer to wear this one in the cold weather. It's just amazing. The blend here is amazing. The quality is amazing. Just great stuff here. That's Amaj Royale tobacco, and that's my Holy Grail for tobacco fragrances. We move on to the next one. So the next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is a leather fragrance, and that's my Holy Grail when it comes to leather fragrances. We go to the house of Spirit of Dubai, and that's Maiden. Yes, Maiden here is my Holy Grail when it comes to leather fragrances for a reason, guys. This one, oh, so good. Amazing leather fragrance here. If you know this brand, you know they like to put lots of notes in their fragrances. This fragrance has at least 30 something notes listed. But yeah, what we have is a leather that's quite on the animalic side. Yes, it does go in that direction a little bit, but not too much. The leather here gives off that quality premium kind of vibe, and that's why I enjoy this one so much. I personally get lots of compliments when I wear this fragrance. It's just amazing. The quality is amazing. If you know this fragrance house, if you know this brand, the Spirit of Dubai, then you know they make high quality fragrances. Maiden here is no exception. I would say this one leans more to the masculine side. I'm sure there's some ladies that can pull this one off. I'm sure some ladies like this fragrance. I personally enjoy the blend of spices with the leather here, just making for a beautiful creation, guys. This one will stand you out from the crowd. This one has stood me out from the crowd. I've gotten lots of compliments wearing this one. Ladies like this fragrance on me, and I get good projection and longevity from this fragrance. Yes, it's my Holy Grail fragrance for leather fragrances, and that's why it's on my list. That's Maiden by the Spirit of Dubai. We move on to the next one. So the next fragrance is an incense-based fragrance, and it's from the house of Testament London, and it's called On the Edge. On the Edge here is my Holy Grail for incense fragrances. Yes, I do have a lot of incense-based fragrances, but this one stands out for me. This one is a smoky incense with a little bit of sweetness, like an ambery sweetness, but it's mostly a smoky incense-based fragrance. This one has incense listed. It has smoke as one of the notes listed. It has patchouli. It has some spices. It has orris listed, and I believe there's other notes listed as well. But yeah, what we have here is a smoky, really smoky, incensey kind of fragrance. This is my Holy Grail when it comes to incensey fragrances, when it comes to smoky fragrances. When I want to have that smoky vibe, On the Edge here is my Holy Grail. This one I find to be better suited for the cold. This one lasts at least 8 hours on my skin, but the experience here is mostly a smoky, an incensey kind of fragrance. So if you don't like smoky fragrances, if you don't enjoy incense fragrances, then maybe this is not the one for you. This one is quite heavy on the smoke, so it's better suited for the cooler weather. I personally wouldn't wear this fragrance in the summer. I would wait till the fall or even the winter time to wear this one. This one leans more to the masculine side for me. I personally think this is a masculine kind of fragrance. Maybe there's some ladies that would like a fragrance like this. I'm not too sure. But yeah, if you enjoy incense in fragrances, if you enjoy smoky fragrances with a little bit of sweetness, then maybe you should check this one out. That's On the Edge by Testament London. So the next fragrance I'm going to be sharing is a patchouli based fragrance. And yes, you guys might have guessed what fragrance I'm talking about. It is from the house of Xerjoff, and that's Richwood by Xerjoff. Yes, this is my Holy Grail for patchouli fragrances. Actually, this is my favorite patchouli fragrance from my entire collection. So what do we have here? Here we have patchouli, we have rose, we have some citruses. This one has a little bit of spicy kick to it. There's some fresh spices in here. So I enjoy this patchouli fragrance particularly because of the combination of rose here. I find the rose and the patchouli to play really well together in this fragrance. This is a patchouli for the big boys. This is a patchouli for the bosses. This is Elegance in the Bottle. This is Richwood by Xerjoff. This one lasts a long time on me. This one I like to wear in the cold weather. This one gets me lots of compliments, especially from people who appreciate this style of fragrances. This one is woody, this one is earthy. It has a little bit of a soapy vibe. It has a little bit of a classic vibe to it as well. The rose and the patchouli play really well together here. This is one you should check out if you enjoy patchouli fragrances. One I rate really highly from my entire collection and my Holy Grail when it comes to patchouli fragrances. That's Richwood by Xerjoff, my Holy Grail for patchouli fragrances. So guys, there you have it. Those were 12 Holy Grail fragrances from my collection. Let me know what you think about this list. What other styles of fragrances you think I should include in my list, or I should have mentioned on my list. Guys, I'm gonna keep it moving. Try getting samples, try testing these fragrances before you go spending your money. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for sticking till the end. Please, if you're new, consider subscribing to the channel, and also feel free to like and share my videos. I'll see you in my next video, and until then, please stay safe and bye-bye.